Let's go to the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline where we bring in the head football coach of the McDonald Blue Devils, Dan Williams. Coach Williams, how are you today, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Congratulations on your victory last weekend over my alma mater. You guys jumped on them early and often. Jumped out to a 28-0 lead. Leetonia comes back in the third quarter with a couple of touchdowns to make things interesting, and then you guys pull away at the end. Overall, the performance that you guys gave against Leetonia, what kind of a grade would you give overall?
Yeah, I'd probably give us a B, actually. It was one of our best games of the year. We played a great first half where I think we limited them to like 73 yards of total offense. And we finally put our entire, our defense played their best half of the season, actually. And then, we came out the second half and, they ended up scoring their first series and then surprised, our guys on an onside kick and recovered again and put another one in. But, we rebounded from there and came back and I think we scored a couple. On our next two possessions, actually, we scored touchdowns and, pulled away again. But, I think our kids, stepped up and played one of their best football games of the year.
One of the things that I was really impressed with, when Leetonia got it to 28-16, I thought, okay, now we're going to find out just how good this McDonald team is because you pounded Leetonia in the first half. No two ways about that. Bears get back into this ball game somewhat, and then you guys score immediately right after Leetonia made it 28-16, and that's when I sat back and said, okay, now I'm convinced this McDonald team, they can play with anybody because of the way you guys bounced back. And Dominic Shadle, my God, that kid is impressive, and I don't even think that adjective suits him well. I think that there's more adjectives you can describe to say how great his game was. But I thought that when you guys scored after Leetonia made it 28-16, that just told me all I needed to know about how good your program is.
Yeah, that was a great answer by our kids, and like I said, they got a quick score on us, and they surprised us with an onside kick, and those type of things sort of happened. We had some young kids on that kick return team, but then when it was 28-16, our kids came back, responded, they knew what they had to do, put more points up, and we did, and then it ended up being 35, I think 24. Then I think a little while after that, and our kids responded again to make it 41. So. Yeah, we had two good, responds, two good comebacks off their scores, and actually I think we scored on every possession, but the one possession we had a fumble. We caught a pass and fumbled, but so we scored on every possession. We had the football except for the one we kneeled on at the end and then the one fumble.
All right, so you get an opportunity to exercise a demon that's been around in the last year or so. You went to Lucas last year, lost to Lucas in overtime. Lucas winds up going to the state championship game last year. You guys get another opportunity to take on Lucas this year. Is there anything that you learned from last year that you incorporate this year?
Well, they run a real unorthodox style of offense where they're like a double tight, foot-to-foot splits, double wing, and everybody's crammed into a small area. And then they like to just pull a bunch of guys and get guys up through the offensive line, and it's like a scrum almost. So it's a tough offense to reckon with. Last year we went into the game and we put a game plan together, and we thought it was a good game plan, and it was. We held them to 14 points and then went to overtime where they scored another touchdown. But I thought we did a pretty good job of stalemating their offensive, scheme of things. But so I think if we get a positive out of this year going down and playing them once again, it's that we've been there, done that, and seen their offensive scheme. So we tweaked a couple things off our game plan from a year ago, and we got better kids is what we have. We were young last year. We had 4 seniors. So our whole entire, offense and defense are back from a year ago, and they had 7 or 8 seniors that started on their team last year, so they lost those kids. So I just think I tell our kids, we're playing the 2020 Lucas team, not the 2019, and I feel that we're a better football team this year. So I think we have a great shot to go down and win.
Is their team's offense the type of offense where you can essentially put 9 or 10 guys in the box and dare them to throw the ball?
Yeah, that's sort of exactly what we're going to do. we're going to put probably about 9 guys, maybe 10 guys in the box, and we're definitely going to try to ramp up our defense and stop their run. And there's some keys that they throw out at us. We're going to key the tight ends when they release a certain way. We got to expect pass, and when they block down and do some things, we're going to expect run. But so yeah, definitely going to gang up the line of scrimmage and try to force them to throw the football.
Without even seeing this team on film, based upon what you just said their offense is, that tells me that you guys are going to have an insanely large advantage in team speed. And I might be wrong in this, but offensively, spread them out and just go to town.
Yeah, that's our game plan. We've been doing that all year, and with Dominic Shado, Logan Hawk, and Nate Gilligan, and Dominic Carquito, Greg Dixon. We got some skilled kids on the perimeter that are going to cause them some problems. So, yeah, that's definitely what we're going to do. And I even told our kids, and our coaching staff, I said I wouldn't mind taking, getting a 10, 11, 12 play drive and then scoring points after that as well, just to keep their offense off the field. And so if their offense off the field, they're not putting a pounding on our guys, and that's what their name of their game is just try to wear you down, And if we're out there scoring points and we're doing some methodical drives ourselves, but then again, we have that Shadle kid. He keeps scoring on long runs. So that blows all your strategy when he breaks a 75-yarder for a touchdown on the second play of the drive.
Coach, is it safe to say that Lucas's strength relies on their offensive and defensive line? Are they big up front?
Yeah, you know what? They have two big kids. They got a kid, their center's 280, and he doesn't even play defense. And then they got an offensive tackle that weighs 260, and he plays defensive tackle. So, but not necessarily huge. They were a year ago, a lot bigger last year, where they probably averaged about 265, 270 up front. This year, not as big. They're playing some younger guys. They start a freshman at safety on defense. They start 2 or 3 sophomores in the secondary on defense. So they're a little younger this year as well. So I just think their toughness is what separates them from a lot of other teams. They're real physical. Their physicality, I think, is somewhat intimidating to teams, and that's what we pride ourselves on here at McDonald as well, being physical and being a tough, hard-nosed team.
Those are my kind of matchups, and I don't know the league that Lucas plays in specifically, but anytime that you can get tested by your league, you know that it's going to do you well come the postseason. And you look, I mean, the MVAC Scarlet Division, you had to play Springfield. You have to play Western Reserve. You got to play Jackson Milton. You played them in the postseason. Mineral Ridge was a tough team to play. So the 4 teams that I just mentioned, and Lowellville, you got to throw them in there as well. Those teams kind of prepare you for a good postseason run.
Yeah, definitely. Our league is definitely a league that week in and week out you got to be prepared for, got to be ready to play, and it's a physical league and it's a run-oriented league. And the last 3 weeks now, we had to go up against teams that like to run the football, the Jackson Miltons and the Leetonians. Now here we go against Lucas. Lucas plays they're an independent actually, so they're down in that Mansfield area where they played some teams that we're unfamiliar with a little bit, but I know they played up a little bit. They lost to 2 Division IV schools, Shelby and a team named Galleon. 2 teams, and Shelby's still playing. They're 8-0, still playing in Division IV. So, yeah, they've gone through the same sort of thing where they've been tested with some good competition, and so I think both schools are well tested, and I think it's going to be a heck of a matchup.
It's pouring down rain, and obviously when you're playing on grass tomorrow night, and look, you might have some nice weather tomorrow night, but the more rain it gets tonight, and early tomorrow morning, even though you might have clear skies Friday night, you're not going to have a clear track per se. Who does that give the advantage to?
Yeah, it's hard to say. We're not real happy about that, to be honest. The state's done what they've done and sort of put this season together, and we're happy to be playing, believe me. But typically we're playing on a neutral site at this time period of the playoffs, and it's usually on a turf field, of course, and this year it's not. So we can't bellyache about that and can't make excuses about that. But I think if you look at an advantage, I think, with their power running game, they sort of have a little advantage. I think I told our coaching staff we can try to score early and often if we can, before the field starts to get a little bit too muddy later in the game. But I would say it leans towards them, being at home and then having that power running game.
Well, blame Independence for all of this, because if Independence had beaten Lucas, you guys would be home tomorrow night.
Yeah, exactly. We watched that game. It was on YouTube, actually. I watched it live, as a matter of fact, Saturday night, and I was definitely rooting for the Blue Devils down there, the other Blue Devils from Independence. But didn't turn out that way, so, we're going to have to play the hand we're dealt. And like I said, I just wish things were like every other year, and the COVID has really hit us, and made a bunch of changes in Ohio high school. But, and typically we'd be on a neutral field with a turf surface. And I think if that was the case, I think we'd have the advantage then with our quickness and team speed.
Well, obviously, the other part of the COVID world is you're not allowed to, or you're not able to bring as many people to watch the game. And look, I went to I was fortunate enough to get a ticket to see Crestview play Garrettsville Garfield. And when you don't have a lot of people in the stands, it's kind of disheartening, especially in the postseason. Now everyone made some noise. Don't get me wrong, but if you don't have as many people in the stands, that's kind of disappointing. If you look back and you see very few people in the crowd.
Right. Yeah. And and it's really disheartening for us this week. We're actually getting 75 tickets to go down to Lucas. That's the number we're given. They got a very small visiting stand, and I feel bad for the parents and the kids' grandparents and what have you. Our kids are typically getting 4 tickets a week, and now this week we're down to giving underclassmen 2 tickets and the seniors 3 tickets. So it's really unfortunate, that COVID's done what it's done, and the things have had to change because of it. And like I said, take nothing away. We're happy to be playing football at this time of year. There's no question about it. And we're playing a lot more football than I think a lot of us ever thought we'd have to play or be able to play. But I just feel bad for the families, that aren't able to. Kid's he's in a regional semifinal game. It might be the biggest game of the kid's life, and he might only get 1 or 2 parents or whomever to the game. So it's unfortunate, but it's something we just got to live with and move on and make the best of.
Well, everyone meets in one centralized location in one of the restaurants in McDonald. And let's go to ysnlive.com, have the establishments show that on the TVs, and everyone can see the game.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to be in garages, and they're going to be in any way they can do that to get together and watch the football game and be cheering us on from a distance. And that's what's nice about our community, small knit community, and everybody rallies on our team, and and everybody's excited. This is a special time of year, so we're all excited and hope to bring them back a win tomorrow night.
Well, let's exercise some demons on the day before Halloween and get yourself into the regional championship game, Coach.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. We're gonna try our best.
You got it. Best of luck to you.
All right, thanks, Ron.
All righty, Dan Williams, the head football coach of the McDonald Blue Devils, as McDonald heads to Lucas to take on Lucas.